You ever see a fully safe work artist draw a weirdly detailed armpit and you just know they've just flew too close to the sun? Trying to draw good feet, but not so good that people think I'm into it. It is truly a fine line that artists must tread every single time. Do they practice the good anatomy, the good detail, or do they get judged for what they have done? Hello and welcome to Kalbus. My name is Zen, and today we're taking a delve into r/Tumblr. That's right, it's the one-stop shop for all things Tumblr. Well, the best of Tumblr on Reddit, a different website, because you don't want to go there. Anyway, let's just jump right in. My biology professor has such a chaotic energy about him. Last week I went to his office hours and somehow we ended up in the topic of gay marriage. He said that when he lived in Texas, they changed the law to define marriage as between a man and a woman in a house of religious worship with the intention to have children. So he filed his taxes as single, and when they called him up like, you filed marriage last year. It was like, you changed the law. I was married by a judge in a courthouse and I have no intention of having kids. And they told him, you know who that law was for. And I guess he hung up on them and did not, in fact, pay taxes as a married man that year. Chaotic good. No, this is lawful good. He is following the law. Chaotic doesn't just mean cheeky. This is like how Sweden stopped classifying homosexuality as an illness, because people started a campaign of calling in gay to work. Malicious compliance is one of the best tools in the arsenal of civil rights activism. Hey, I'm just gonna say, if they're gonna put laws down to try and to persecute and just make life difficult for some people, malicious compliance is a good way to deal with it. Other than just, not having those laws in the first place. Pronoun cinematic universe. He, him, she, her, they, them. It. It's the cinematic universe that we just never really connected until now. Incredible! What's the chronological order that I need to watch these in? I need to know the deep lore. Much like I need to know that you are subscribed to Kalbus right now. Check down below. Is it subscribed? If not, do it. Make sure to leave a like, a comment, even share with a friend. It helps us keep making stuff for you to watch and enjoy. It's entirely free. And that's not half bad. Anyway, let's just keep going, shall we? The two saddest answers a white boy will respond to how's it going with 1. It's going. 2. Hanging in there. These are signs the white boy is in distress and should be removed from the source of distress immediately. White boys only say this when severely stressed. Who cares about male suffering? Please remember to give plenty of enrichment to your TERFs enclosures, or they will act like this on completely harmless silly posts. They are afraid of their own reflection and use the stick up their ass to posture and appear taller when attempting to scare off perceived threats. I'm just gonna bypass the edgy, ooh, I'm trying to make a point here person in the middle there. I'm just wanna focusing on McDominatrix. That's a hell of a name. And also just, these are two of the responses, and top comment is giving some more of, it's going, hanging in there, oh, living the dream, another day in paradise, and can't complain. I don't want to even admit how many of these I've used. Masculine attractiveness. I think there's a real tragedy in the way straight men don't see themselves the same way that people who are attracted to men see them. If you ask a straight man to describe what an attractive man looks like, there's very little variety. The masculine male ideal is tall, broad-shouldered, square-jawed with a cleft chin and a built-of sculpt muscle. The stereotypical image of an alpha male, someone whom he could respect and envy. And sure, there are plenty of women, gay men, and people of all sorts who are attracted to this specific type, even exclusively attracted to it. There is so much more variety in this, both in the tastes and their subjects. The stereotype of hot wife, ugly husband couples was drawn from the observations of straight men, from their own perspective. Jeez, this is some heavy stuff. Okay, when I put this list together for the video, I didn't think there'd be a common thread going through this. Alright, let's continue. Women going after men that men find unattractive makes no sense to them, and they figure that women are willing to overlook being ugly if a man's funny, smart, or rich enough. If a woman insists that she's attracted to a specific man who isn't attractive by their standards, they'll assume that she's lying. The tragic part is when a man who believes himself to be ugly grows bitter over this. developing a foul personality which people do find repulsive, and then uses their repeated experiences of being romantically rejected as proof that they're physically unattractive, insisting that surely women would overlook his heinousness if only he was tall and muscular enough and had the right bone structure. The self-feeding vicious cycle of being a bitter incel is born. The thing about ugly men with a good personality can still be attractive is that they're usually not even ugly. Some people do genuinely find fat and hairy men, thin and delicate men, short men and feminine men attractive. There's as much variety as in cheese. You can't compare aura to brie, and just like in cheese, as long as you're not toxic, somebody's into that. And you just need to find the right wine to complement it. That was a lot. I've got to say, that was a lot, and yeah, there's a lot of good points in there. Appearances matter to a degree, but ultimately, it's the personality and who the person is on the inside that truly matters. Butch Hartman. Oh no. The way artists draw themselves is so funny. Like, we all make ourselves look like exhausted gremlins, and there's that one freaking Elmer Butch Hartman who managed to make his self-insert OC like a complete and total douchebag. I literally have never seen a man be so self-absorbed. OP, it gets worse. There's an actual character in The Fairly Odd Parents that's a caricature of Butch Hartman and voiced by him named Dr. Rip Studwell, and his defining character trait is being hot. He changed his icon because of this post specifically. Good. Can't a man have confidence, Tumblr user? Typhlosion? Hello? I feel like this is an online equivalent to playing with a Ouija board and the demon freaking answering. Once he answers, you fire up that poltergust and you save the rest of us from him. This is your duty now. Nothing fills me with rage quite like seeing no overnight visitors on an apartment advertisement. Like, who the hell do these random landlords think they are to deny someone the ability to host a friend or a sibling for the night, to even feel comfortable dictating the terms of paying tenants' sex life? Like, seriously, screw off all the way to hell. Hex your crappy landlord and watch their life crumble into pieces. There's a very effective hex called a tenants union, and you can learn the sinister rituals through covens dedicated to the craft. Landlords that do this kind of stuff they're just going for a power trip. They should not be able to dictate how someone else lives their life, especially if you're paying for the place. Jeez. One of my favorite tidbits about Oblivion is that when Bethesda brought Patrick Stewart in to play Uriel Septim, they gave him the big 90-page booklet detailing the character's history and background and motivations, and they were really worried that they'd gone overboard and given him too much. Meanwhile, Stewart was delighted. He said it was the best character prep he'd ever been given, and he wished more people would do that. It's worth noting that this character dies in the tutorial. And those 10 minutes that you were around Septim were fantastic. The end is nigh. Google execs used to say the company's motto was, "Don't be evil." Now, a dozen employees have resigned in protest of its artificial intelligence drone program for the Pentagon. What? Google employees reportedly quit over military drone AI project. 3 days later. Google removes "Don't be evil" clause from its code of conduct. What? I always thought that Google's informal motto being "Don't be evil" was about as comforting as a co-worker having a sign at his cubicle, reminding him not to snap and murder everyone in the building. As it turns out, watching the co-worker remove the sign is even more ominous. Yikes! Calm the hell down, Google. And to think I wanted to kill you 2 times. In this quarantine, you have become my friend. Love you, Manuel. The rat said this. You know what they say, you find love in the most unexpected places. I'll get that chef's hat and start cooking. American urban planning. When I moved to my city, the crappy car I owned immediately died. Luckily, I thought, the apartment we'd moved to had a bus stop right outside, and there were bus stops right down the road from my job, and the city's website even had a convenient little route planner. 4 hours. The trip that took 20 minutes by car would require 4 hours, with multiple changeovers to do on the bus. When Americans say public transportation sucks, it's not because we just hate the concept of public transportation, it's because in most places it exists here, it is deliberately underfunded, underserved, and poorly implemented. That, and it just seems all American cities and towns are just built around cars. When I was visiting last year, I had to ask my hotel receptionist, how do I get to the gas station across the road? There's nowhere to cross. They looked me dead in the eye and said, run. Run across 6 lanes of traffic to get to a gas station so I could get a bottle of water. It's ridiculous. And that's all the time we have for today on Kalbus. If you liked the video, consider dropping a like, or maybe even subscribing. Or hey, maybe even just sharing with a friend if you want. I mean, we're not going to say no. We encourage it. Please do. If you want to see some more r/Tumblr, stick around a couple more seconds because another one will be popping up on your screen. But on that note, I have been your host Zen, and I hope to see you in the very next Kalbus video. Have a great rest of your day.